All right, so we're here today doing a league on Twitch and YouTube as well with Black Red Rreanimator. I've made a couple of changes to the sideboard here since like the last time I made a YouTube video. I'm now up to 4 Reverent Silences because I was playing 3 and 2 Assassin's Trophies thinking that's 5 answers to Leyline, but Leyline still just continues to beat me. And the Lake of the Dead plan wins some games, but there's too many different decks with Chalice and Leyline that some of them don't actually lose to Grave Titan or can, they just beat you before it can come down. So I'm now up to a 6th answer to Leyline of the Void. Only 2 of those can also hit Chalice, but the idea is that like the Reverent Silence can destroy the Leyline before the Chalice comes down, hopefully some games, or that they don't always have like Leyline and turn 1 Chalice. But I've played this now in a couple leagues and most of my losses have been to those decks, so I'm not sure. Maybe I need to reevaluate again. Maybe I just can't beat those decks like at a really high win percentage like I'd like to. But so that's one change, and I've now also put in 3 Grim Lavamancers because this card, there's been a lot more Delver decks recently. I'm not 100% sure that I want these 3, but I'm trying it out for now. 3 Grim Lavamancers, really, really good against Delver. They can still beat you with like a Cage, but if you get a Grim Lavamancer down early in the game, they can't really play any of their threats except for Gurmag and True Name, which are the most likely ones that they sided out. And it flashes back with Therapy. It gives you so much time. It makes it really easy to beat them. So I'm trying those out for now while Delver has picked up in popularity. And there's a Pithing Needle here because of Tormod's Crypt has become a slightly more popular graveyard hate thing. So having access to that for Tormod's Crypt rather than trying to Assassin's Trophy a Tormod's Crypt out of like a blue deck, that's not really where you want to be. It also hits Caracas and like it's good against like Death and Taxes and things like that. I don't bring it in for Planeswalkers though, because like if Miracles gets a Jace down, then they probably won anyway, and they can just beat you with Mentor. So it doesn't really like lock them out of the game or anything like that. Everything else is pretty much the same. The main deck is the same as what I've been playing for now for quite a while. Anyway, so I'm gonna play a league with this. Been doing pretty well. I've got like 1,000,000 4-1s in the last few days. No 5-0s. Yeah. Hopefully it's a good league and I don't yell too many profanities into the camera. Get banned from YouTube. Although I don't think YouTube bans people for yelling profanity, so maybe I'll do that anyway. This is a player I've not seen in a while, and it's another one of those players that always beats me. Seems fine. I'll keep it. That seems great. If they are on, I'm just gonna wait. I think if I said if it's an O2, I usually drop and I will not put that on YouTube. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because now that I've done all that talking about the sideboard, hopefully I don't get like thoughts seized. It's green. Forest. I can beat a Forest. We can beat a Forest. This hand's good against Forest. Interesting that you said Goldfish says lands, because this player plays all different kinds of stuff. Mono red, sneak attack, things like that. Don't. You're not going to do that. There's no way they're wastelanding my fetch there. Oh my god. I can't believe they're doing this. Okay. You got it. I'm gonna just assume they do not have a crop rotation in their hand. That's... If I didn't... I mean, like... I can't believe they did that, to be honest. But... I mean, I could still try and go for a turn 2. Or turn 3. But then they could top deck a crop rotation. Yeah. What could they do? They could get like a port. Port doesn't really do it. Well, yeah, no, port would get me. I can't believe they wastelanded that. I'm going to see what their hand is. I'm going to go slowly. They only have 3 cards. Alright. So we need them to now not draw. Not draw a... what? Port. We're probably beating them even if they draw a port. That wasteland was extremely aggressive. I don't really understand that. So I'm not going to crack the pedal because they have Tabernacle. I might need mana. Although, yeah, this is fine. Although they have Caracas, so... Hi, 16 I can't, numbers. I don't play the Legacy Challenges because it's the time zone for me is terrible. It is a very bad time zone for me. I'd have to be up until like 6 in the morning, so... Yeah, I was saying it's funny that they are actually on lands. After you mentioned that. Lands is usually a buy for Rreanimator, but his the Wasteland slowed us down, and the top deck Caracas definitely was pretty nice. but I think we're gonna win. We might lose, but probably not. We're gonna need like one more reanimate spell. StephX, thanks for following. So I exiled the bog so that they can't use that anymore. Hey, what's up, Nola Gold? Thanks for the raid. Trying to beat lands here. It's a little difficult. My opponent's making it hard on me. So we really need to find another 2-mana reanimate spell soon before they can punishing fire me out of the game, which eventually they probably could. I'm going to also need to be careful of the crop rotation still. I'm gonna Dark Ritual, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna Dark Ritual. And I'm gonna loot. Let's see what we hit. I think we have to keep this in case. I guess we have to pedal. Get rid of one of these and put this in the graveyard seems okay. We can unmask pitching Gristlebrand. See if we can attack here. Man, our opponent has drawn really, really well this game. Oh my goodness. The best deck in Legacy. I mean, I haven't played Black. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been playing lots of different stuff recently, but Rreanimator's been feeling pretty good the last couple days. Maze of Ith, sure. Dark Depths. I'll just do a little maze check once. Okay, you got it. You did it. I don't feel very strongly that we're going to win this game at this point. Because we need 2 more 2-mana reanimate spells. How many do we have? We've got 1 in exile. And that's it. So we have 7 left in our... Yeah, that's pretty good. The real problem is they could Punishing Fire kill us. It would appear they're literally drawing the best spell every single turn. This is like a little bit ridiculous. Wow. That means they're going to draw a Grove here. Or another crop rotation. I guess Loam. Okay. Loam is beatable. Maybe. Yeah, we're probably losing this one. Probably losing this one. They are playing really well. Like, them putting... Yeah, I don't know. They're also just drawing amazingly. Three of 6. So I'm not gonna pay. I'm just gonna end this game right now. Because I'm really close to dead anyway, so I need to draw this turn. Which means I need to exile Crocus, because it's their only one. It's the one of. They're copying Caracas? Okay. I think I lose. I don't think I can win now, to be honest. Here, I'm gonna draw two mana reanimate spells, and that's gonna be a bummer. But I need to make sure I can cast one. Nah, I just draw nothing. Wow. Unreal. Like, that game was crazy. Like, I mentioned it when we started. This player always gets very lucky against me. They've mentioned it too. They obviously are a good player, so I'm not saying anything about that, but they drew, like, their best card, like, 3 turns in a row there. The Caracas. I mean, it's possible I wasn't supposed to play around crop rotation 1, but I don't think that's it. I think that they drew their best spell. Just gonna let this lands deck farm you. This guy is a wuss. I would have been like 2020. Who's yo daddy? You would have made a 2020 there? Yeah, it would have won. All right. Bring in 2 trophies, 1 Pithing Needle, 1 Archetype, I think. And cut the Chancellors. And hope they don't have a Leyline. It's been a while since I've played against this guy, Rick Sile, and like I said, like, they've beat me with all different kinds of stuff, and it does always seem like they draw the best cards off the top of their deck, like, all the time. This is an awkward one. I'm gonna keep it. Probably gonna lose. Putting these in my... I guess I could put 1 Gristlebrand in my graveyard. But knowing how it usually goes when I play against them, they probably just have Surgical. Needle Bog. Looks like round 1 I'm getting wrecked by lands. I mean, I can win this one. They don't have the any colored mana. I guess they just have the combo though. I mean, I can needle it. That works, right? Right? Thank God I don't have my Bayou in play. Jeez. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, can we get a reanimation spell here? Dealer. Okay. Okay. Okay, don't hit me with Caracas. What'd they do? What'd they play? Nothing yet? Okay, come on. No Caracas. No Caracas, no crop rotation. Please. Pretty please. Nothing. So they could have crop rotation. That was a great draw. Okay, okay. Great draw. Okay, they don't draw it. Now, let's not die to their Punishing Fire. All right, I think we can win this one. I'm very nervous, though. My opponent's really good. And they obviously have something here. I guess this is just a Punishing Fire, which is fine. We can beat the Punishing Fires. Okay, they just have Dark Ghost. Alright, I think we're going to win unless they draw, like, very specifically a I mean, a crop rotation, because then they could get something good that I'm not really thinking of. Like, a crop rotation could get them their combo, I guess. Okay, so they drew a forest. All right. Now I can just probably finish the game right now. Yeah, I think they probably leave in one Punishing Fire for stuff like Magus of the Moon. Also for greedy Gristlebrand's. Can always steal a game off of a greedy Gristlebrand. Alright. Now we gotta like bounce everything and they'll concede. This will be fun. This will be fun if they don't concede. I'm gonna bounce the Badlands. I'm gonna bounce the Pithing Needle, rename their thing, and I'm gonna bounce everything else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, bounce everything. All right. I like the therapies. We'll do it like this. Don't really need Chancellor. Well, gonna mulligan this one. This one's kind of risky. But they're on 5. I'm gonna keep this. Hopefully they don't turn one tax me. Don't turn one tax me. Okay. They have 2 of those. Oh my god. Oh my god. This sucks. I'm gonna have to do this now. Just pray. Oh, we did it. My prayers were answered. The prayers have been answered by the Gristlebrand. The demons of the underground. Checking for the follower somebody followed. Stifle Not, thank you for the follow. All right, let's do the rest of this turn correctly. Let's see, what can we do? We don't have any more graveyard stuff, but we can discard the sphere, and if they draw crop rotation, they can get Crocus or Maze. So the needle on Crocus is not like amazing, but it's probably better than not doing it. Anyway, start with this. Could also just Dark Ritual and loot, because if we find like an Entomb, then we can just get Archetype. I mean, I had to get really lucky there to combo this turn. I didn't have to get really lucky to win. I just needed to hit like mana to have a chance against this hand. But there was a good... I didn't like having to loot there with no lands in my hand and no guaranteed land on top or anything. Like, it's really risky. But since they had the sphere, I had to do it. Anyway. So I can make... I think these rituals are fine. Do this now. Because Archetype would just be so much better than Needle. Okay. This is fine. If they get a Maze, like, we're probably still gonna win. We just need to make sure we keep some lands in our hand. And discard. We can put this one in the graveyard. Wow. Good name. They drew the Caracas. Yikes, those were good games though. Brick style if you end up watching this. I'm the lucky one this time though. Alright, round 2. That would have been so crazy if they drew that Crocus and I didn't I didn't needle it. Like, there might be an argument to name Maze over Crocus just because there's probably more mazes in their deck, like 2 more, or one or two more mazes, but Maze is way more beatable than Crocus there. Like, we're probably beating a Maze, and I mean, we're probably beating Crocus too, but Maze definitely easier to beat. By the way, all that nonsense on my title about opening chests, we're getting close. I did reach 10 subs, but now I'm down to 8. So, but I have 908 followers, so we're getting close. Although I'm running out of money. So, but I've got 400 chests now. But I'm running out of money. So let's get those 100 followers, huh? If you're watching YouTube, come follow me so I can open my chests. How do I feel about Carpet of Flowers right now? It's fine. I generally find that I'm beating like the decks that it's good against anyway. Except for like it's best. I don't know. So Miracles, I'm winning like 80% or something ridiculous. I'm like beating Miracles almost every time. Delver, I'm trying out the Grim Lavamancers, but that's where Carpet would be best. 3 Grave Titans in a lake. Yeah, I just recently I like that. I like the Lake of the Dead. I've gone up to as much as 2 Lake of the Deads with 3 Titans, and then I settled back down on 1 Lake of the Dead. 1 Lake of the Dead and 2 Titans. And this now I'm playing none. I'm trying out the Grim Lavamancers because of Delver. Also because I don't know, I have so many answers to Leyline. Like Lake of the Dead is best against a Leyline. I don't know. I'm not 100% like on the sideboard right now. I'm testing some stuff. But I am trying out this Grim Lavamancer plan. And a follower. Thank you for following T Prado 11. We are reanimating Gristlebrand's. I'm the goat reanimator. But I'm not reanimating any goats. Meekstone versus Delver. Now there's an idea. Actually, Meekstone in this deck would or come on. Actually, the thing is this deck definitely like Meekstone doesn't even really do anything against Rreanimator, but you're not leaving in Tidespout Tyrant and Astronaut against Delver. But I know you're joking. It is a funny joke. How can we beat Goat Reanimate if we don't reanimate any goats? Find me some goats to reanimate, and I'll do it. I will reanimate a goat at some point. I'm a goat reanimator. Nobody wants to fight me. Come on, people. Legendary land. Create a 0/1 kobold. That's not a goat. This conversation is great. This conversation is great. It's too fast. Spring Break Ibex. Goat 3/3. Whenever attacks creature you control gain trample until end of turn where X is the greatest power. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, but it gives my creatures you control gain. Yeah, that's great. That makes doesn't that make your Gristlebrand a 14/14 with trample? That's great. All right. In the future, Springjack Pasture. Is that it? No. Pathbreaker Ibex. We're doing it. Pathbreaker Ibex. I'm gonna take a look at this. If that's cool, all right, we're doing it. Look at that. Look at that. That's something. All right, we'll do it. That is definitely the best goat to reanimate, huh? In the future, we're gonna do that. Ain't nobody leaving Bolt in against Rreanimator. Come on. Legacy 4 life. Sounds pretty good against not Chalice of the Void decks. Sounds good against Force of Will decks. Uh-oh. That's a clock. Uh-oh. Hey. Pathbreaker Ibex. I mean, you get to attack with a 14/14 Gristlebrand. That's gotta be like... That's gotta be almost as much fun as attacking with a Thief of Sanity. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh god. This matchup's not good. Guess I should have gone for a turn 1. That Hymn to Turok was a pretty good draw. Got rid of my good draw. Hope we don't draw. They don't draw a Reanimate. Yeah, we could have won on turn 1, but usually Delver doesn't play him, so I don't think I need to play around that. I guess like I could have played around a Thoughtseize. Looks like they drew a blue card. Yeah, we're gonna end up losing now. No, generally against the Force... Okay. Generally against the Force of Will decks, I just want to discard Gristlebrand with a hand like that. And then I have like 4 discard spells in my hand for turn 2 to back up my turn 2 Exhume. But the Hymn really got me there. I can still win, but it's going to be very hard. I have to draw 2 mana Rreanimator spell next turn. This matchup's really bad. If I had known that they were playing this matchup, I definitely would have gone for it on turn 1. But since they had an Underground Sea... Anyway, that's game, but I'll just do this anyway. Since they had an Underground Sea instead of Watergrave, I didn't know it was Shadow. So I got punished. Also, I got punished by their top deck. If I had drawn it, would have got there. Would have got there. I mean, it would have been a pretty close game. They would have had no attack next turn, but they'd have 3 Delvers. Actually, yeah, they would have 3 Delvers because I would have drawn a Reanimate spell here. And then I would attack, and I would have to draw to try and find an answer to their Delvers because I would be at 9. Too bad. I mean, maybe they're not playing Shadow. No, they must be. They could just be playing, well... Thing is like Grim Lavamancer is really good against Delver, but not good against Shadow. I'm just gonna bring in the Thoughtseizes. Same with Elishnorn. Same thing. I guess Elishnorn's fine. the Shadow deck, you just kind of have to pray. They have so many ways to interact that like playing around stuff is basically impossible. So like next turn I can play around Surgical kinda by reanimating Chancellor. But we'll see what happens here. If they play like a Cage or something, it's just over. If they reanimate, it's over. Surgical's probably... Thoughtseize maybe we can beat. Lavamancer is a good answer to Delver decks that do not play Shadow. Because those decks usually side out at least their true names, if not true names and Gurmags. And so they only have, at most, probably 2 Gurmags, unless it's the Thought Scour version. They took the Reanimate. And they just can't play out their threats. So they took the Reanimate. I think they have a Daze. But there's no really good way to play around Daze here. So if I Ritual, I guess Ritual plays around Daze. Okay, Ritual if they Daze. If they force Daze, though, that's the problem. But if they force this, then I can Therapy naming Daze. Otherwise... Here, let's see if they might cast like a Surgical or something. Otherwise, I'm going to name Surgical. And they'll almost certainly have a Surgical. I could go for Chancellor. I guess that's the best thing to do here. The problem is the Chancellor probably loses, so they might not even Surgical it. Yeah, Ritual Therapy gets around the Daze, but not a Force and a Daze, if that's what they had. Because they could just force the Ritual, because they know my hand. And then like next turn they can Daze. So if... I think I just have to go for the Gristlebrand, like I said. I don't want to play around things with this deck. They probably have it, but... Chancellor probably loses, so... And like even if they Surgical the Chancellor here, I also have nothing. So if they don't have the Surgical, and the Chancellor resolves and I lose, like it feels too bad, so... It's too bad it wasn't an Exhume. If it was an Exhume, they would have taken that with Thoughtseize, though. And then I would have reanimated the Chancellor, because that would tell me they have the... Yeah, this is pretty much Shadow for you. Best case scenario. Yeah, now they've revealed Stubborn Denial, which is a lot as a Force Spike here. Right. It's pretty unfortunate that we face Shadow. This deck is not very popular right now, and it's probably definitely the worst matchup for Rreanimator. I don't really have any outs here. I guess now I do. I have mana. Next turn I could draw a Reanimate. I'm going to keep the Petal. This way, let's say next turn I draw a land, and then the following turn I draw a 2-mana reanimate spell. They're not going to be able to daze it. If I keep the land, they can wasteland me and daze my 2-mana spells. I mean, by daze, I mean Stubborn Denial, which is the card they showed me. So this plays, I think, the best around what they've shown me. Seems that they probably have another clock here, though. Oh, or just what are they going to do? Reanimate my thing? Okay. So we no longer are facing a daze. We're facing a 1-mana counterspell with a 2-turn clock. So we are dead. All right. It's a bad matchup. Probably could have won game 1 if I had known that they were on Shadow. We would have won game 1 because we had take a look. Let's watch the replay to see if I made him. If I should have just gone for it anyway. I usually just discard without really thinking about it because I'm not too concerned about him. But all right, so they have black, so I have to consider discard. We have, I mean, we only have 1 discard here, so actually I think what I did was fine. So, because to go for it turn 1, we have to unmask them, right? If they force a will that, they can just daze our Dark Ritual, and then we can't actually win this game. Like, they're dazing, they can wasteland this, so we could fetch. They daze that. The next turn, we're casting Cabal Therapy on ourselves. They're cantripping. Like, that's a really good way to lose. So I actually think what I did was actually correct. So, like, the plan here is you just go to discard. You put Gristlebrand in your graveyard. And then, like, I have... I play out a land. I unmask them, pitching... if I drew a black card, I would pitch that. Otherwise, I pitch unmask. If they daze that... I Dark Ritual and pay. And then they have to counter that too. If they force of will this, then I can cast Dark Ritual. If they daze that, then the following turn I can either therapy them or just cast the Exhume. Anyway, I think discarding's fine. I think it just makes it a lot harder for them to beat me. Without discard, and these decks play far fewer discard than they do like counter magic. So I think, re-looking at that game, I think I did it correctly. Yeah, I think cleaning up is better. Spell Pierce, like, again, it's the same as Daze. I'm just casting Ritual in response to any soft counters. Okay, so then they need to counter that as well. Otherwise, I get to therapy them, naming their Force of Will. So they need like 1, 2, 3 or 4 counters to stop me from comboing on turn 3. 2 counters to stop me from countering on turn 2. If I do it on turn 1, they only need 1 counter to stop me. So, pretty sure I like waiting. If this was a land, I'd probably keep this hand, but since it's not, it's looking for too much. Therapy myself, name unmask. I mean, honestly, like, I got punished with the card that they flipped off the top, which was him, and it happened to hit the only card in my hand that mattered, other than if they hit 2 lands. So it happens, but I think I did it. I think I played the game correctly. I think 4 might be better. It's close. This is like, if this is like as good as you would hope for a 3 or a 2. But I think on I'm gonna mulligan it. All right. Is this for real? Is this for real? What is going on? What is going on? What in the world is happening? Oh, we're getting Belchered? I thought it was going to be... Wait, what? Okay. I guess we're getting Belchered. I was confused here for a second. Bayou, Street Wraith Bayou into Manamorphose is not something I'm used to seeing. They got the LED as well. Don't do it. They don't. Grizzle Belcher. Is that a thing? Maybe they have discard. Uh-oh. No. 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 Maybe they hit their land. I bet they don't have any more lands in their deck, though. We can take a look. Yeah, they didn't. They did. They had another land, but they didn't hit it. It's just a Belcher deck with a second land, basically. Looks like we weren't going to be winning that one anyway. So that's nice. Iona on red. I don't know why they're playing Bayou, other than to make it less likely that they win. I guess it makes Landbrain another mana source when they just need 1 more mana for Belcher on turn 2 or whatever. I don't like diluting my combo too much, but I like these answers. And Chancellor's too good to cut. I guess we can cut the Ashen Rider. Just hope that that doesn't become a thing. Meaning, hopefully they don't get a Belcher into play when I could have had an answer and I don't. Pithing Needle is an answer. It's not, yeah, it's not needed. It's okay though. How about I turn one, Chancellor? Does that just beat Belcher or can I lose? I'm gonna keep it. Pretty sure like it's really hard for them to beat turn one Chancellor. I know it's definitely possible. They need a land to do it, or multiple guides, like lots of guides. Yeah, but I mean, for them to like use their spirit guides to make like their artifacts resolve is going to make it really hard for them to get to 5 mana. I don't think I ship this, basically. They can beat it. Orm, you always get Grizz, right? But Iona on red also just ends the game. So like you get Grizz and then you do something to end the game. And so using the second one to get Iona is probably better than Chancellor. Could just lose to a Fairy Macabre here. Yeah. I mean, so Iona, they can't really beat Iona's thing. They need like, yeah, they would need 4 mana spells that are not red and an LED. Yeah, I guess Chancellor is pretty much the same, huh? All right, we'll cut that and put back in a therapy, because we can like unmask therapy them. I guess Iona's like whatever. It does add another like creature to your opening hands that could just be GG. If anything, like Elish Norn's not really needed, but it is nice if they do have the goblins to. Sometimes they have too many goblins for your Gristlebrand. Usually, if you get a turn 1 Gristlebrand, it's better than their goblins. This is a really good matchup, actually. Like, definitely can lose to a turn 1 Belcher, but Chancellor puts a good stop to that, and they don't always have turn 1 Belcher. They often have goblins, and the Rreanimator deck combo beats goblins like pretty easily. Pretty easily. You do have to mulligan pretty aggressively though. Like you don't want to keep. You want to be comboing on turn 1 or 2 generally. All right. Are we starting? I need to go to the bathroom again. The clock seems to have stopped. There it is. This hand's fine. It doesn't have the enough mana, but we have a Chancellor and we've got lots of discard. Sire of Insanity? I mean, I've said it a million times. Sire of Insanity is great when you're on the play and you do it on turn 1. After that, no. This deck can easily beat a Sire of Insanity. They just play out all their artifacts and top deck a... Also, this is like a turn 1 deck. Sire of Insanity is the worst after turn 1. So it's just like And a lot of your hands are like turn 2 and turn 3. And a lot of your hands use looting to do that. So if Sire of Insanity is like your turn 2 or turn 3, it loses to too many things. So if we don't draw a land on turn 1, probably just Thought Seizing them, even though it gets rid of one of my discard spells. I mean, one of my ways to discard Gristlebrand. Okay, so we drew a land. I still think Thought Seizing them seems pretty good. If we draw a black card or a looting, we can get Gristlebrand. Otherwise, we can get Chancellor. So I think I like just Thought Seizing them. Element performance, yikes. Land grant, pedal. Alright, so let's assume they draw a Spirit Guide. Spirit Guide land grant is probably their best. Spirit Guide pedal is strictly worse. This is their win cons. They should have probably just like Lotus Petal land granted, maybe? We take the land grant. Can I think of other creatures that went on turn 1 on the play? Yeah, that's the point. That's why I don't play that card in my deck. Because it's really only good on... It's really only good on turn 1. That was a good draw. And there's... Everything's good on turn 1, so... Why didn't they play out their Lotus Petal? I guess they wanted the Storm. They should have played out their Lotus Petal, though. Yeah. Just Chancellor. I could have, like, flashback. I could have sacked Gristlebrand to flashback, getting rid of their pedal. I don't think it was necessary, though. I don't think I could be punished for doing that. Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Yeah. Chancellor's definitely good against Belcher. Yeah, it makes half their deck plus 0 mana instead of plus 1 mana. Seems pretty good. Did they have a turn 1 on me there? I think they had a... They probably had goblins. I don't think they could make 5 mana for the Telemann on turn 1 unless the Manamorphose hit. I don't know what it could have hit to make 2 blue. Petals. Petal. 1 petal. 1 more petal. Oh, it's also possible they have a 3rd land in their deck. That makes blue. I think you're supposed to leave Telemann in the sideboard. I think that you're supposed to make the blue mana with your LEDs. I don't know though. I'm not a Belcher expert, but I think you're supposed to leave Telemann in your sideboard and wish for it and make blue mana with your LEDs. Any Belcher players? I'm more into that goat. The goat. We're going to reanimate that goat at some point in the future. There we go. Sounds fine. Turn 2 Chancellors are not great, but looting's great. Discard's great. Half our combo's great. So everything's gonna be great. We're gonna hit a Entomb or Griselbrand anyway, eventually. See? I guess we're not getting discarded on turn 1. I think we would just get rid of this. Grim Lavamancer. Okay. See what they got. Feels like they probably just have a Force of Will and they're thinking if they should use it or not. Conceding there is silly. Because they showed me they have Grim Lavamancer. Like, the range of decks that could have Grim Lavamancer is not that wide with a Volcanic. So conceding there is real loose, I think. I already have too much information for you to want to concede. Yeah, I think unmasking and then seeing if I just want to animate dead Chancellor and then try and get Griselbrand like 2 turns later, because they're gonna have to tap out a bunch. You are Delver, obviously. Could be Grixis Delver. I mean, maybe these Grim Lavamancers aren't good. Maybe they're playing Prowess creatures and they're hiding it from me. Maybe the concession was good. I don't think that they should concede there. I don't necessarily have the combo. All I did was loot. Don't cage me. Don't cage me. That's not a cage. Okay, so I kind of want to unmask because I want to know if I want to entomb or not. The question is, do I want to play the Delta? So if I play the Delta and I unmask and then they crack and then I crack to play around Stifle, then they can Wasteland me because I want the Badlands. But if they have Stifle and not Wasteland, anyway, I think it's more likely that they have Wasteland than Stifle. The other thing is I think how many things could they have? All right, they don't have a threat yet. I'm just going to pass. Pretty good. I'm just gonna take it slow until they do something. That's why this land draw. That's why this land draw was good, because I had a really strong feeling they had Stifle after doing nothing for 2 turns, and that's also why I cracked there, to make them use their second fetch land rather than to give them their cantrip first. If I hadn't drawn this land, then I would not have cracked there. Okay, there's the Wasteland. So at this point, we can't really beat this Wasteland if we get a Badlands. I will try and unmask them first. Now we have 2 discard spells and the combo, which is pretty good against 5 cards. Sweet. See if they kept a card on top or not. Because if they did, it means it's a Vapor Snag. Or at least we need to think about Vapor Snag. They did not shuffle. I'm a little concerned about Vapor Snag, but they're probably just going to concede here, to be real. Like, even I mean, they might have just not shuffled because of the Force of Will also. That's possible. And if it is a Vapor Snag, we can just draw in response. Yeah. All right, last round. I'm going to hopefully get another 4-1. I've gotten a lot of those recently with this deck. Just losing to... I guess there are actually bad matchups for Black Red Rreanimator because I'm only losing to the same stuff. I mean, obviously, Shadow has been a bad matchup and always has been and always will be. They just have way too many things they can do to mess you up, and their clock is so fast that you just don't get enough draw steps to try and beat all the things that they can do to you. Can do to slow you down or stop you or whatever. Brendan 2000, thank you for following. Very much appreciate all of the followers. Hope you are enjoying the stream. How you guys feel about the no music thing? Ensnaring bridge for Shadow? No. I know you're joking, but the problem is like anything that you ask, even if you're not joking, the problem is that they have, instead of removal, they have counter magic in their deck, and that's just really good against you. And then they have discard, and they have daze, and they have wasteland, and their clock is really fast. So there's literally like nothing you can do in Magic, in Rreanimator, that's going to be good against Shadow. I mean, like, Meekstone is actually like reasonable because it only costs 1 mana, but they can so easily beat it by just turning their shadows into, you know, deal 10 to you once. I mean, it might buy you like something like Meekstone might buy you like a turn or two, maybe 3 turns, but you're still not winning with 3 turns. Bridge plus Sire, yeah. There we go. There's a combo I like to hear. Yeah, Sire would be particularly bad against Shadow because they play Reanimate in their deck, and if they top deck Reanimate, you've discarded all of your creatures. And also their shadows are just bigger. They can just top deck a shadow. Like, this is... Why are we even talking about Sire Insanity? The card is only good if there's no mana in play on the other side of the table. Keep trying. Give me. You know what? Magus of the Moon's like, I don't know. Circle of Protection Black, same problem. Although it is only 2 mana instead of 3. But then we have to play white, and they can wasteland our white source. And they can still just daze it and kill you. Or they can just Delver you. No, it's not working out, or keep trying. How about Circle of Protection from the deck? Just don't play against the deck. No looting. Just discard, but these aren't Gristlebrands. If these were Gristlebrands, I would keep this. This hand's great, especially against a non-Force of Will, non-Chalice of the Void deck. So let's hope it's that. No. That looks like a Force of Will deck. That was a good draw. Leyline of a win the game, yes. Leyline of you can't attack me, how about that? Leyline of the moat? No, that wouldn't work either. I think they're going to cast a counterbalance here. I want them to cast something else. Like a Spell Pierce, Flusterstorm, Brainstorm. Okay. Strix, please. Okay, we can beat that. Unmask. Unmask. Yeah! Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. You just gotta ask really nicely. Just gotta ask really nicely, and then your deck will give it to you. You just say unmask and you do a little circle here, and then it gives it to you. It just does it. It does it every time. Just go right there. Little unmask right there. Come on. Yep. Got it. We didn't need the unmask, but it was nice to have it. Because there was always a chance, especially since they did cast this Baleful Strix. I guess that means they probably drew the Brainstorm off the Baleful Strix, because I think that they don't cast a Baleful Strix there if they have any way to possibly find another counterspell. Did we see a white land in there? Tundra. Ooh. Ooh, we're gonna lose to Containment Priest, maybe. Strix Containment Priest. I mean, this deck is a little bit difficult. I guess we want this then. I don't really like this against Strix decks. I'd rather have this, but since they also have Containment Priest, probably. So what does that leave us with? Actually, well, and then they also have like Swords Depositors, so these Grim Lavamancers are not great. Oh, that's right, I did discard the swords. Yeah, they had the Tundra as well. So this is like Esper Stoneblade. So they're gonna have discard, they're gonna have Containment Priest, they're gonna have Flusterstorm, they're gonna have Surgical, they're gonna have Snapcaster. So I'm not gonna bring in like these Grim Lavamancers for Containment Priest or anything for Containment Priest. Just gonna hope we draw max discard and that they don't just have Containment Priest on turn 2, basically. And then they probably will, and then we'll go to game 3 and we'll have Chancellor and kill them. That's the plan. That's the plan. That's usually how it goes. Or we go to game 3 and I mull to 5 and lose. Those are the two ways it usually goes. If we draw a land, this hand's pretty good. If we don't draw a land in the first couple of turns, it's pretty bad. But I think we keep it. If we draw a Reanimate on turn 1, I'll just discard the Gristlebrand and hope they don't have Surgical. Thought sees me. Oh, Inquisition. So they take into. It's pretty good. There's an argument here to just unmask pitching Gristlebrand therapy and hope that rips their hand apart, but we're not drawing too much at that point, so I'm just gonna pass. I have won games with Archetype of Endurance, but not many. Especially if they're playing Baleful Strix. Archetype of Endurance is strictly like a secondary combo card after you Gristlebrand for Elish Norn in this case. Protecting Elish Norn, they can't really win. But as your like main Rreanimate, you're almost never going to win with it. If I was guaranteed a turn 2 Rreanimate, I might do it that way, but I'm not. It was a good draw. I don't think I can play around tons of stuff here. I don't think I can play around Surgical, fortunately. Surgical and Priest are like spells I can't really play around here. I mean, basically I'm not playing around anything, I'm just jamming, I think is the plan. I can slightly play around Surgical by not having the one out of my hand ripped out of my hand right here. It's not perfect, but I have 2 therapies for later. Ooh. Ooh, we might be able to win. All right, so we're just gonna hope they don't draw anything next turn. We're gonna name Liliana here. If I can spell it. Of the Veil. Hope they don't draw a Brainstorm. If they draw another blue card, that's okay, because they need to draw 2 then. Alright, well we still need to draw something. I shouldn't have played out that land. Make them use a discard if they draw it. You're supposed to keep the land in your hand there. Because now, if they had drawn a discard, they wouldn't play it. But if I kept it in my hand, they'd play it. And then that would mean my next looting would protect my Animate Dead. See, so if they had drawn specifically a discard spell there, then this would punish me. But they didn't, so can't be punished by something that didn't happen. So now they had to have drawn Surgical. Or Priest. Surgical or Priest. Because we know one of their 2 cards in their hand. Alright, now we have to draw semi-decently to beat the swords. And we did, we drew fine. Can you use therapy in case they drew another swords? And then name swords. Actually, name Snapcaster Mage. No, I wouldn't have drawn Snapcaster Mage. So it's either a Swords or a Flusterstorm or a Spell Pierce, all of which are, it doesn't matter because we have another discard spell. Okay. Sweet. All right, well, that's the end of the league. We ended up 4-1, lost to our bad matchup. That seems to be the case for like pretty much every league I play with this deck. The last week was also 4-1, right? For some reason, I'm not 5-0ing. Many 4-1s. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be uploading it to YouTube, and I'm going to turn off the recording.